Welcome you into the show. I'm Brian Keating alongside Hannah Hoover, and it's time for Crashing the Boards.
Our favorite time of the week. Let's do it.
We're a little like the Grim Reaper tonight because
you keep saying that, but it is very true.
It is pretty much
I wish
true.
there was something more positive to talk about.
We have nothing positive to talk about.
You know, I always try to look at the glass half full, but we'll see.
Looking for glass half full. This is the wrong show tonight. Roll the video. You know what happened against Oklahoma at Missouri. It was one of the wildest finishes I've ever seen in a college football game. Tie game, late. Oklahoma recovers a fumble. Billy Bowman's going to be like the Sooner Magic guy. But then Missouri scored a touchdown and he tied the game. And then, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. Missouri's going to get out of there with a win. Oklahoma loses again. And Brent Venables has to face the media as a Oklahoma Sooners lose.
They converted way too many third downs for us on defense. And obviously we got outscored 21-7 turnovers, and nothing impacts a game like those, and got to do a better job of taking care of the football. I'm incredibly thankful and proud of our guys, and again, we as a staff just got to do a better job to help them somehow, some way. Keep your head down, eyes forward, go back to work, try to get better, find a way to get to win number 6.
Brent says win number 6 because you got to get to 6 wins to be bowl eligible. And they've got LSU and Alabama left. So that was one of their last chances. At least I think a lot of people thought that one of their last chances to win a football game, and they did not.
They did not win it. I'm going to start it with this. You know this song, which I'm not going to sing, by Luke Combs?
Oh, no, do.
You know, ain't no loving. Okay, I'm
Oklahoma,
you know, I can't sing, okay? But that's how I feel. There's just not much love for Oklahoma. I get it. Like I said, I'm glass half full kind of person, but it's hard when your quarterback, you know, has no touchdowns and 2 fumbles and 74 yards passing. It's hard to get excited about that. You know, for me, I thought, well, Jalil Farouk is in, Deion Burks is in, and he had that nasty injury or going out of the game at the end of it. And so you just think maybe there's going to be a little magic, a little spark, and that wasn't the case. So it is unfortunate. I think a lot of us think, how did they lose in this game? Truly. But I think it goes back to having a fast start. That's something that Mike Gundy talked about on the road. That there wasn't much action going on in this game. It was the final 3 minutes and 18 seconds.
Which was wild.
Which was kind of fun.
Yeah, it was. You
know, we like that excitement. But anyway, it was disappointing, and there isn't any love in Oklahoma right now.
No, here's the deal. The game stuff of it doesn't matter. Oklahoma's season in large part is over. I know they got 2 games left, and that's probably the disappointing part is they got to play 2 more football games. Got to watch this team play. And I think sitting here tonight, I think Brent's in trouble. I think his job is in real jeopardy as we sit here tonight. I like Brent, man. The guy works his tail off. He's positive. He is enthusiastic. He's a little bit crazy, kind of in all the right ways, right? I mean, I like Brent.
Yeah,
but it hadn't worked at all. And so here we are, almost to the end of year 3. We're talking about Oklahoma not going to a bowl game. We're talking about them playing their last 2 games as if they have already lost them. The numbers, we could go through a lot of this. You know, in conference play in 3 years, Brent Venables 11-13. On the road in conference play, he's 4-7. And in all likelihood, he's staring down the barrel of a second losing season in 3 years as the head coach at Oklahoma. And they like to talk about the standard. We have to play up to the standard at the University of Oklahoma, and it's not even close. I mean, what are we talking? This is not even close to the standard at the University of Oklahoma. They were on the road against Missouri without their starting quarterback and found a way to lose in one of the most inexplicable ways you could possibly lose a football game. And so OU is 1-5 in the SEC. They're going to have a losing season. So I think Brent's in real trouble. Do I think he's exactly coaching for his job in the next 2? I don't know. I don't claim to know what the powers that be at the University of Oklahoma think about Brent Venables. I know they've invested a lot. I know they thought Brent was going to be their head coach for the next 20 years. And here they are in year 3, and we're questioning, is he going to be the head coach next season?
Right.
I don't know. I do think this. If Joe and Joe Harris, they already know the answer. If they think the answer, I don't know that this is going to work, then you just cut bait and you go a different direction. Because if you wait through this another season because you hope it turns around, I think you've made the wrong decision. But the standard, it's not even close to what the standard is at the University of Oklahoma. And They lose again on the road last night. And here's the bad news for the University of Oklahoma as well. Put it up, because they got the Alabama Crimson Tide coming to Norman in 2 weeks. So OU's got a bye week. And here comes Alabama, who beat LSU by as many as they wanted to last night. And so, look, I don't even know what to break down about this football game. I have no idea, because OU they're very bad. They are very, very bad, and they got one of the best teams in college football coming to town.
Well, I will say Jalen Milroe, he's fun to watch. 100 yards passing over LSU, 185 in the run game, so he's dangerous. I just like that stat. I think it's cool to be able to do both, right? But I am going to ask you this, because like you, I don't really know where to go with this, but I will say that I do think Oklahoma is going to get back to Oklahoma. They are consistently, they have that standard. They may not be close in your eyes this year and a lot of people's eyes this year, but I do think they get back to it. So I'm going to ask you this. The last time OU and Alabama played, 2014 Sugar Bowl, and there was some magic in that game by Trevor Knight. So just tell me, what do you think? Look, is it possible, Brian?
I mean, it's college football. Anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
I suppose. Now,
you were there at the game.
I was. That was a great night in New Orleans, and Oklahoma finished that season 10-2 and wound up in the Sugar Bowl, and Trevor Knight went crazy, and Oklahoma beat Nick Saban's Alabama team that thought they were going to be playing for a national championship, ended up in the Sugar Bowl. That was actually one of the wildest nights of the Bob Stoops tenure as the head coach, and a great night to remember, thinking back to the day they beat Alabama. Here's the deal. That team's not playing in 2 weeks.
Right.
And I'm going to try to write this fast.
Well, it isn't. Trevor Knight probably isn't going to come into this game. We know that. But I will say that Jackson Arnold has shown some flashes of, decent.
I don't know. Look, it better be competitive. That's all I got to say. If Brent's coaching for his job, it better be competitive. I mean, they need to put something on tape and on the field a week from Saturday that says, that's our guy. He's our guy moving forward.
Gotta keep it close.
I think Brent is coaching for his job in the last 2 weeks of the regular season. We'll see how that goes. Stay with us here on Crashing the Boards, because there's another coach just down the road in Stillwater.
Ain't no love in Oklahoma.
We got plenty to say about him, too. Welcome back to the show tonight. Brian Keating alongside Hannah Hoover. Let's get into the OSU Cowboys, who started the weekend on a 6-game losing streak. They were on the road against TCU, and how about your brother Josh Hoover?
There he is. Savion Williams with the catch there.
So TCU led this thing 24-0. Josh goes 286 yards and a score, and they beat up on OSU again. It's 7 straight losses for the Cowboys, who are searching for answers, 7 in a row for the first time since 2000.
I just rather talk football only, nothing outside of football. Guys got to play, got to do a better job of coaching, and we got to do a better job of making plays in crucial times. Obviously we have an open day, give the guys a chance to get off their feet and get a break. They're beat up right now. Try to get some guys back in the lineup that haven't been in, and practice our butt off and get ready to beat Texas Tech.
All right, so that's Mike Gundy, and he referenced his comments earlier in the week. He was asked about those. Made comments, of course, everybody knows about that. He was forced to apologize on Tuesday, did that on Twitter in the middle of the election. And so some people might grin about that as well. But OSU rolled it out on Saturday night and didn't play well again.
Yes, this game, I will say, I was in, the end zone watching the first drive, the second drive, and TCU didn't score on those first 2 drives as far as a touchdown. They had a field goal opportunity both times, but I know my brother, I know his mannerisms, and I thought, they're rolling. And so that was kind of fun to watch, because I'd never covered a game of someone that I know that well, so that was really fun for me. But I will say, you saw a lot of this TCU offense in their run game, and that is not something that they've had much success with this year. Savion Williams is typically the one, but you saw Cam Cook cooking at the running back position with 2 touchdowns, so that was fun to get them, going in that way. That aside, I think it's a tell of who Oklahoma State is in their run defense, and that's something that we've seen as a bright spot or not a bright spot, but a glaring spot, I should say. And it kind of was a glaring spot for me, because I know this team better than maybe some other ones. And so it was like, oh, okay. So that being said, I'm going to go big picture with this, because we don't need to get into the weeds on OSU versus TCU. I know what was said this week, but I really am a believer in that Gundy has had so many years of success here, and I don't think that people are going to throw in the towel on him because of 1 year. You look at business people, they have some years where they have great growth and some years where it's just not as great. And so I think there's some grace there. Gundy is not going anywhere. That's what I would say to this. He's had so much success at OSU, had so many great teams. Is it not a great year for them? I think that's fair to say. It's not a great year at all when you're going 0-7 in conference play, and that's rough. But at the end of the day, I think that OSU will find a way to get back to OSU. Mike Gundy's a good football coach.
So here's the deal. Should Mike Gundy be fired? I'd say no. Do I think he's going to be fired as we sit here today? I don't think the answer is yes. I think you're right. Over the last 20 years, he's built up enough goodwill and wins in that scenario. The problem is that this OSU football program has fallen way, we talked about the OU standard. This has fallen way below the OSU standard. And there's a cliche in football where football coaches say you got to fight for every inch on the field.
Right.
And if we sit here and if everybody's being honest at home, do we think Mike Gundy is fighting for every inch in that football program? And
if we're being honest,
the answer is of course no. I mean, that's recruiting, that's coaching, that's on the field, that's doing everything. The answer is of course no. He's not fighting for every inch.
Right.
And so in the last 2 years, in the last 11 conference games, I'll just run a couple stats here. They're all bad. They've trailed by as many as 2 touchdowns in 9 of the last 11, by 17 or more in 8 of the last 11. By 3 touchdowns in 6 of the last 11, and by 4 touchdowns in 5 of the last 11. That's half your football games you've trailed by 4 touchdowns or more. That is totally unacceptable. And is Mike Gundy going to be fired? I don't think so. But it's crazy to sit here today and ask that question and it be like a real thing. That's a real thing. Is Mike Gundy going to be the head football coach at Oklahoma State? They have one more home game left. They got Texas Tech, and they have a bye week. Texas Tech coming to Stillwater in a week. But look, it has gone horribly at Oklahoma State. They are likely to be 3-9 and win as few as 3 games for only the 3rd time in school history. This is all-time bad. All-time bad what's going on, and they play at home one more time.
Yeah, Texas Tech, I will say this. My family all went to Tech, and they are some crazy fans, and they're not very nice. And I'm not big into the unsportsmanlike conduct there. I'm not into it. So I just say go win this game. Go show it to the Raiders. Do I think it's possible? I think it's more like a Mizzou situation. You know, is this a winnable game? Sure. They could win it, maybe, but it's one of those where it would be hard. It would be hard to win it. I just will leave it with this. All these people have families, and as someone who's a player's sister, I think I have a little more grace for the situations when things don't go great. And I would just say, always think about, you know, this is someone's brother, or this is someone's dad, or this is someone's uncle, and I always think of it that way.
Well, I'll leave us with this. It's senior day for Oklahoma State players. Is it the senior day for Mike Gundy? I don't think so, but it's a question worth asking at this point. Be right back. So Chet Holmgren is hurt for Oklahoma City and hurt his hip.
Too bad.
Yeah, it didn't look good. Now, he was able to walk off under his own power. Well, not under his own power, with some help. And the Thunder bagging home tomorrow night against the LA Clippers as they lose to the Warriors. For Hannah, I'm Brian. See you.